Noong April 21, 2025, just after Easter Sunday, na maalam ang ating Santo Papa. Pope Francis' papacy is not without controversy. Ako mismo, I used to be a basher ng Santo Papa. Used to. What changed? Panoorin niyo ang video to find out. Kamusta? I'm Jay Aruga, host of this channel. Kung Katoliko kayo at hindi nakatago sa isang lungga, malamang ay nabalitaan nyo na pumanaw na ang ating mahal na Pope Francis. Pero kung matagal na kayo sa lungga na ito, baka hindi nyo man lang kilala si Pope Francis. Baka si Pope John Paul II pa ang inabutan nyo. Pero ako mismo ay nagulat nung nalaman ko ang balita tungkol sa pagpanaw ng ating Pope. Kamakailan lang, masama ang lagay ni Pope na ospital siya due to a respiratory condition. Pero umayos naman ang lagay niya. Akala natin tuloy-tuloy na. But he can't have chosen a more fitting day to live than after Easter. The most important date in our church. Anyway, sabi ko sa simula, I used to bash the Pope. Paano ako nagkaroon ng ganitong pananaw? To understand where I'm coming from, balik tayo sa simula nung nag-resign si Pope Benedict XVI. Nung una ko nabalitaan na Pope na si Pope Francis, like everyone else, I was full of hope. Ito ay noong February 28, 2013. Maraming first sa pontificate ni Pope Francis. Siya yung first Pope from the Americas, first Pope from the Southern Hemisphere, and first Jesuit Pope. Hindi pa nga ako aware noon na may two sides on the political spectrum, liberal and conservative. And by the way, sa tanong kung liberal ba o conservative si Pope Francis, I'll give my 2 cents at the end of the video, kaya abangan nyo yun. But going back to his election as Pope, nung time na yun, I just felt na si Pope Francis would appeal to those away from the church. Yun naman talaga ang theme ng kanyang pontificate. Kung i-quote natin ang sinabi sa kantang Pretty Woman, mercy. He would reach out dun sa mga nasalaylayan, sa mga walang nagre-reach out, sa mga divorced, sa mga nag-undergo ng abortion, sa mga nag-identify as LGBTQ+. Kung si Pope Benedict XVI ang tinaguriang Rottweiler of God, I think na si Pope Francis is the clickbait of God. I was hoping na kung yung mga people na nalayo sa simbahan could go at least at the door of the church, siguro they will check out what's inside. Nung pumunta si Pope sa Pinas noong 2015, sobrang sinubaybayan ko yon. In fact, nandun ako sa Santo Niño Mass niya sa Luneta. Umuulan nun pero we braved the rain. And feeling ko nung time na yon, sobrang lapit ko na sa langit. Literally, kasi na-meet ko sa araw na yon si Ray Langit. May ilang mga red flags sa papacy ni Pope Francis. The big one is from Amoris Laetitia. Yung controversial footnote doon about the possibility of giving communion to someone who is divorced and remarried. Para sa marami, malaking scandal ito. Dahil kung diborsyado ka at nag-remarry ka, there's a presumption na nagsisex kayo ng bagong asawa mo and bawal yun sa Catholic Church. Therefore, bawal ka tumanggap ng communion because that's a mortal sin. That's like committing adultery continuously. Then sunod-sunod na yan. Yung Pachamama incident sa Amazonian Synod, yung allegedly sinabi ni Pope about him supporting same-sex union dun sa documentary na Francesco. Ang pinakamatindi sa akin ay yung accusation ni then Archbishop Vigano. Sa mga hindi nakakaalala, ito yung accusation na part ng cover-up ng sex abuse ni Cardinal McCarrick itong si Pope Francis. From there, I was so disappointed by Pope Francis. Isa-isa sa mga hinahangaan kong authors and Catholic commentators gaya ni na Taylor Marshall and Patrick Coffin, either they think the Pope is a heretic or the Pope is an anti-Pope, meaning he is not really the Pope. And for me, I cannot wrap my head around it yet nung time na yon. I don't think he's an anti-Pope. I think legit naman si Pope Francis. I would settle for he could be one of those bad popes which has existed in church history. Yun ang tingin ko kay Pope Francis noon. But as this is going on, may isang insidente na nagpabago ng isip ko sa kanya. But before I tell you If you like this video, subscribe naman kayo. I will be covering a lot about the Pope in the next few days until magkaroon tayo ng bagong Santo Papa. Sama-sama tayong subaybayan ito, kaya subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell. Tatanungin ko naman kayo, ano ang naging feeling nyo nung nalaman yung yumao na ang ating mahal na Santo Papa? Please put it in the comments down below. Alright, tuloy na natin ang kwento. Ano yung incident na tinutukoy ko? Sometime ng 2020, ginawa ko yung Exodus 90, which I very much recommend. Try niyo yun, lalo sa mga lalaki. May nakasama akong kaibigan sa aking pag-Exodus 90. Tuwagin natin siya sa pangalang June. Sobrang devout Catholic ni June. Nagro-rosaryo siya kasama ng pamilya gabi-gabi. Member siya ng Couples for Christ. However, just like me, disappointed din siya kay Pope Francis. And every week, kapag nag-uusap kami, naglalabas kami ng hinaing about Pope Francis until hindi ko namamalayan na may community na pala na sinalihan itong si June. Community ng radical traditionalist. Ito yung faction na hindi nila ino-honor lahat ng writings post-Vatican II. And one day sinabi niya sa akin na never na siyang magsisimba sa isang Novus Ordo Mass or Pauline Mass o Missal of 69 ni Pope Paul VI. Hindi dahil sa mas gusto niya ang Tridentine Mass o yung Mass pre-Vatican II or yung 1963 Missal, pero para sa kanya, isang abomination ang New Order of Mass o yung Novus Ordo. Napasama siya to what I think is a schismatic group kung saan naniniwala sila na si Pope Benedict XVI pa rin ang tunay na Pope at buhay pa rin si Pope Benedict na nagtatago ngayon somewhere around the world. At madaming pumasok sa isipan ko nung time na yon. Una ay absurd ang bagong religion na napasukan ng kaibigan ko. Definitely hindi ito yung Catholic Church. Who in his right mind would think na fake yung Pope Benedict na namatay? Even sina Taylor Marshall or Patrick Coffin don't subscribe to this view. Ang pangalawang nasa isip ko nung time na yon ay, ano itong nagawa ko? Na-drive away ko from the church itong kaibigan ko dahil sa kaka-criticize ko sa Santo Papa. And from there, I have to step back. I have to take a second look sa lahat ng criticisms kay Pope. Halimbawa, sa Francesco documentary, hindi naman pala totoong sinabi ng Santo Papa na he supports same-sex union. In fact, noong 2020 din, naglabas ng clarification ang Vatican na galing sa dalawang magkaibang questions yung nasa documentary at pinagtabi nila itong sagot ni Pope kaya nawala yung context. Marami pang examples ng ganito. What I realized is the mainstream liberal media is painting him to be uber-liberal, meaning they interpret the Pope's words the most liberal way possible. At the same time, ang mga far-right na Catholics naman, iniluluwa na siya at pinipaint din siyang uber-liberal. Pinagtutulakan si Pope to the left as if they don't want anything to do with this Pope. Kaya ang narrative is far-left si Pope. And everything he say and do are interpreted in the most far-left way by both camps. Nakita natin iyon in action nung Fiducia Supplicans kung saan both sides agree that the Pope declared that the blessing of same-sex union is now a thing. But of course, he clarified that the union is not the thing being blessed, but the individuals, multiple times. It was clarified by Cardinal Fernandez, the prefect of the dicastery for the doctrine of the faith, and it was also clarified by the Pope himself when he was interviewed in 60 Minutes. Pero despite that, patuloy pa rin ang narrative. I defended the Pope during the Fiducia Supplicans debacle, and never have I been bashed by my fellow Catholics. So ano ang sagot? Is the Pope liberal or conservative? The answer is neither. Tinanong ko din ito kay Trent Horn when I interviewed him on this podcast. Ito din ang sagot niya.
Pope Francis is sui generis. You know, he's one of a kind.
He would champion some left-wing cause like climate change sa Laudato Si and Laudate Deum, while sometimes he seems based and right-wing by warning us about the dangers of gender ideology sa Dignitas Infinita. Ito ay dahil ang kanyang style ay yung tinatawag na complexio oppositorum or complex of opposites. na maaring nakuha niya sa pag-aaral sa works ni Gaston Fassard, isang French Jesuit and theologian. Bukod dyan, ay inaral din ng isang batang Jorge Bergoglio sa kanyang doctoral thesis ang works ni Romano Guardini, whose theology is grounded on the concept of opposition polare or polar opposition. Kaya hindi nalalayo na ang ating Pope would tread in the middle of left and right. Siya mismo nagsabi na ayaw niya ang mga political labels. Kaya, let's pray for the repose of the soul of Pope Francis. Let's pray that the next Pope would bring unity to the Church. And personally, I would like to ask for you to pray for my friend June as well. Nabanggit ko sa aking video ang aking interview kay Trent Horn. Kung interesado kayong mapanood ito, pinag-usapan namin si Pope doon. Just click the video right here.